What up, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy P. Skip. Welcome to the best half hour of your entire Tuesday. You know what time it is. It's time to get into his course. My squad with me, T-Mac.
Hola.
Chili Will.
Gracias, amigo.
Let's do this. Well, let's get this started, y'all. By the way, T-Mac is not with us. He'll be back next week. He had some other things he had to get into, but he told us, brothers, hold it down. So we're going to do that today. So listen.
Yeah, T-Mac jet setting around the continental United States, but we're getting back. We're getting back in about a week.
We shall. So listen. Galatians 6 and 8 in the Amplified reads as such. For the one who sows to his flesh his sinful capacity, his worldliness, his disgraceful impulses, will reap from the flesh ruin and destruction. But the one who sows to the Spirit, from the Spirit, reap eternal life. Now, I read that because the NBA was trying to make Ja Morant, who plays for the Memphis Grizzlies NBA team, one of its poster boys, one of its faces. But Ja Morant has recently got into a bunch of mess. One, he's being sued by a 17-year-old. He was playing pickup basketball with him. Something happened, and Ja Morant beat him up.
Now, first of all, why are you playing basketball with a 17-year-old?
I got nothing.
Okay.
I just know somebody should have told you, because his handlers are with him and they hit the dude too.
Yeah, it's some serious maturity issues going on here, but continue.
Next, which is the latest one, that now he is suspended indefinitely, is the last. At first they said 2 games, but now they're saying indefinitely. Grizzlies coach Taylor Jenkins has no timeline for Ja Morant's return after gun video and suspension. So he's waving a gun on Instagram. And here's my thing. And this gun was waved after he came from the club in Denver. That don't mean nothing. They played in Denver. But it does mean something to the NBA, because, Will, you've done business trips.
Yes.
You are on the clock the whole time you're on that business trip.
Yes, you're on the company dime.
Whether you're sleeping, whether you're eating, you are on that company clock.
Yes.
So you brought a gun to work. You brought a gun on the plane.
Yes. Yes.
And so they're suspending you indefinitely.
Yes.
And they're going to make an example out of you. I believe the NBA is not playing games with you on this issue or anybody else on this issue concerning doing stuff like this. They're looking at him and saying, I remember I was watching an interview with Carmelo Anthony. And he said David Stearns came to him, had him come to his office in New York and said to him, hey, you either cut them cats off that you're hanging out with, or you ain't gonna be in the league. Carmelo was hanging with some of his guys from the hood that he came from. And they're like, oh, those guys and what they do cannot be a part of your NBA life. We've investigated what they do, who they are. We know everything about them. And if you want to hang with them, you're going to be one of them.
Yeah.
So
well, obviously, Carmelo Anthony reeled it in and went on to have a Hall of Fame career. So hopefully we pray that Ja Morant can get this turned around sooner rather than later.
Yeah. But you know, the thing about Ja Morant is you're a suburban kid. You grew up with both your mama and your daddy in the suburbs. Why is it that you have a mentality of, okay, now I gotta be street? Now I got to get street cred. The people in the streets want to be you. Why are you trying to be them? I don't get that mentality. And maybe it's because, one, I've always been maturer than that. I always knew, excuse me, what I wanted and what I didn't want. I always knew I didn't want the street life. I didn't want the thug life. I didn't want the problems. But you have certain players that think, in order for me to have some street cred, I don't want street cred. I want corporate office cred. I want business cred. I want Nike cred. I want endorsement cred, but I could care less about street cred.
You mean you don't care if the guys over on the block, over on the stoop, think you the coolest dude around? You don't care about that? That's important.
To who? To who?
It's important to people who only have that to cling to. It's important to people who have invested in that type of lifestyle, and that's part of who they are. It's important to people who didn't get the opportunity or didn't take the opportunity to try to get on a more upwardly bound pathway.
And I agree with that, but that ain't you, Ja Morant. Bro, you're on the mountaintop. Why are you still looking in the valley?
It's a maturity issue, plain and simple. It's a maturity issue. He's a very young guy. I'm not going to make excuses for him. The NBA, they know everything you do. Everybody, they got relationships with the FBI. They got relationships with all of the police departments everywhere. So they well connected. A lot of the guys who you see doing security in the NBA are retired police officers, and I happen to know that personally. You know too.
Yeah,
the guys
absolutely.
that we know that are security for the Bucks, they retired police officers. A lot of guys. I mean, at every NBA game, the FBI is present at every game.
Absolutely.
They have FBI agents in the stands at every NBA game. So they connected. I mean, they have all kinds of security. The security at FISO Forum is ridiculous.
Yep.
You and I can be having a conversation somewhere, and depending on where we are, they can almost listen to what we're saying. That's how serious the security is at the FISO Forum. Because when it was built, it was the latest technology in security, which was better than Potawatomi.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So I mean, so they know how to get information, and then of course, all they got to do is look at the company you keep.
Yeah.
So Ja Morant can't fool nobody.
Right. And not to mention, you and your Grizzlies have been having issues with people off the court anyway.
Yeah.
You didn't have problems with fans. And so that you already had a target on you, and then you do something like this.
Yeah, I'm praying for the brother, because honestly, I'm a huge Ja Morant fan. I love how he got the way he got into the league, how he came up the slippery side of the mountain, how he made a way for himself. He put the work in. I just love his story, but I need him to be just a bit more mature at this point in his life. And I need the people around him, his loved ones, his friends, his homies or whatever. I need them to understand that, hey, if you really love Ja, then you need to be less selfish at this point, and and be a little more stern with Ja about what he's doing and what he should be doing, and not be one of those yes boys or yes women or yes men. Right. You need to really stand up and say, hey man, look, you need to put those toys down. Right. And start acting like a man.
And man up.
Yeah, man up. Yeah.
It's sad. I agree with you. This is not something he can't come back from. Just a side note. Do you still think, if you just go by numbers and everything that's going on, do you still think that Zion is a better player? Because everybody was saying Zion was a better player than Ja Morant. Do you still think so?
No, I don't.
And if you remember, I said, I think Ja Morant's going to be a better player. No. I was like, no, he's going to be. I'm telling you, I don't know what's going on with Zion and his health, but it's always something. It's almost like he's Greg Oden again.
Yeah, yeah. I feel sorry for Zion too, because he seemed to be such a good spirited guy, and he don't seem to be caught up into some of the stuff that John Morant is caught up into. He seemed to have better supporting network around him.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm gonna say this, and I'm really shooting from the hip, and I'm coming off the cuff with this.
Right.
I think alcohol might play a role in this, and I think John Morant may have an alcohol problem. I think that's what it is, because I look at it. I've said this to people. I said this to my son. I said, man, I think John Morant drink a lot. He said, Dad, why do you say that? I said, I just look at him. I look at his eyes, and I notice every time his dad be at the games, he have a drink in his hand and he have on shades. There's no reason for you to have on shades inside an NBA arena unless you're trying to hide your eyes for some reason. So I'm thinking, and I'm hoping that if that is the case, that he does get some help and can get that behind him. But I think alcohol might play a role in this.
You know what? At this point, nothing can be put off the table.
Yeah,
nothing
when it's all gets said and done, I think because when I start thinking about the situations that he had, all of those situations seem to be in except one, all of them seem to be in a party type environment.
Yeah.
The situation at the mall with his mom and his friends, that wasn't, that was something else. But the rest of the situation seemed to be at a time when he's could have, and I'm guessing, I don't have any evidence of this, that he could have consumed a little too much alcohol and kind of lost touch with the reality of who he is and where he is.
Yeah, you could be right. Could be right. Speaking of losing reality of who you are and where you are, we all know that LeBron James has went down, and he should be out for at least another 2 weeks, I think they're saying. He sits at the game on the sideline with a boot. But there's a scripture that says in Romans 12:5, says, rejoice with those who rejoice, sharing others' joy, and weep with those who weep, sharing others' grief. And there is something going on with AD that just the common eye looking at it isn't paying attention. I watch sidelines when I can. And what I noticed with the Lakers, first of all, you saw history in the making with LeBron James, AD, and you didn't get off your seat, get out of your seat. That said a bunch. That says, what that said to me is, he ain't my guy. We ain't cool like that. I could give a rip about what awards he's getting.
Yeah, I'm not happy. I'm not happy for him.
Not at all. I'm not rejoicing with those who.
I'm not rejoicing. Yeah.
Number two, I don't see you coaching up the other players. I don't see you talking to them and say, hey, do this, move here. Here's where you should be. I don't see you doing none of that either. And number three, I think with LeBron being down, I think the Lakers are looking at him and seeing, can he lead this team? You got 2 weeks to show us if you can lead this team. If you can't, you will be somewhere else next year. You will be somewhere else next year because we're spending way too much money for this experiment that is not working. You're not a leader. You don't care that much. You stay injured. You're not worth it. And I believe, this is just me. This is the Bible according to Skip. This is Skip chapter 8, verse 7. That joker, this may be his last big payday.
Wow.
I really believe it because the whole world is getting ready to see what you are and what you are not.
Well, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, and I'm gonna say, okay, well, maybe he'll step up. I mean, so far, the Lakers have been winning a few games lately that they had not been winning previously with when they got the trades and the different people in. The last game they played, he did a few clutch things in it. So right now, I would say the jury is still out on if he's capable of that. The opportunity is there for him to prove his capacity, and I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. But I'm close to, not totally, where you are on AD. I think he may have worn out his welcome in Los Angeles.
I think so, considering, have you even played half the games that we paid you for? Just that alone. But two, for me, just because you're a scorer don't mean you're a leader.
Oh, definitely not that.
And that's what I'm not seeing. I'm not seeing him say, hey, and maybe he's like, listen, I'm not a vocal leader. But if you got a bunch of young cats around you, you got to be one for y'all to win.
Yeah.
And if you just like, well, they're going to have to learn how I lead, and they don't learn the way you lead, that ain't the way they learn, then one of two things. You either get a new teacher or you go to a different school. You know,
Yeah.
and so I think AD's teaching style, if that's the way he teaches, it doesn't work because, like, even on the side, on the bench, I don't see anybody coming to him and he's talking to him and say, hey, listen, especially when he was injured and not playing, I didn't see him talking to players saying, hey, right here, you should have cut here, or you should have set the pick here. I don't see him doing any of that. I just see him, if I can be honest, I see him on the sidelines moping and pouting.
Well, you know, success has to be managed just like failure has to be managed. Being wealthy has to be managed just like poverty has to be managed. You know, so he's not managing it well. I must say, I'm very disappointed. I mean, I know they won a championship and all that, but even when they won a championship, I'm very disappointed in the impact that AD has had as a member of the Los Angeles Lakers, because in my mind, and maybe I could be misreading it, he was coming to be Batman to allow LeBron to be Robin and get a few more years out of LeBron as a co-star. And I just haven't seen that happen. To me, right now, so goes LeBron, so goes the Lakers. And it should not be like that. And that wasn't what I saw. What I saw that was supposed to happen,
right,
when he left New Orleans and came to Los Angeles. Yeah, especially the amount of draft picks and players and all that they gave up for him. So yeah, I'm disappointed in AD at this point.
And I think what the Lakers see is, even when we get rid of him, we ain't gonna get back what we got for him.
Yeah,
we had to give up for him. We're not getting that back. And
yeah,
and what I'm seeing is an AD that either has lost his desire to be a Laker, even. But there seems like there's some sort of rift there, and even in interviews with Russell Westbrook and Patrick Beverly, both of them said LeBron and AD, they ain't cool. They ain't cool. And so I'm just watching to see what this, but I really believe the Lakers are going to see what they have in him, and they're going to make a decision on whether or not they want to keep him.
Well, they're going to see, because 2 weeks for LeBron to be gone is an awful long time. So they're going to see.
Right. And if AD is who he says he is, then he'll keep them in the playoff run. But if he isn't, they ain't even going to make it in the play-in game.
Yeah,
So,
that'll be a catastrophe.
Catastrophe. But it'll be under AD's reign that it happened.
Yeah, it's under his watch. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's keep it moving, man. We only got a few minutes left. But what are you more concerned with? The Bucks loss to Philly, or what Chris Middleton is producing right now?
Neither one.
You're not concerned about either one?
No, the Bucks lost to Philly. Very disappointing. Well,
Right,
we've left that arena for a month and a half, and we never had the losing feeling. I mean, they only lost maybe 6-7 games at home.
Right.
So the whole year. So for them to lose and to lose the way they lost, being up by that amount, having Philly come back and Chris Middleton not to, they tried to put him in a situation where he could be Robin and he just didn't produce. I'm not a big fan of Grayson Allen, but he was on fire in that third quarter and he didn't shoot any shots in the fourth quarter. I didn't understand that. But I don't think we need Middleton as much as we needed Middleton in the past. So I'm not really concerned about how he's playing because we got some people that can supplement for Middleton.
Again, my opinion is I'm not concerned about Philly at all. I think Philly is really irrelevant to our championship. And I have no fear of Boston either. And another thing we just picked up is Goran Dragic from Chicago. So we picked up that guard. We just signed him, another vet guard, which I don't understand why the Bucks keep picking up guards and we need big men, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, I think the reason why they picked up the latest, because I think they needed an insurance policy. Holiday is playing at such a high level, right. And so is Carter. But Carter is not playing like Holiday, but he's playing great for reserve. I mean, he's one of the better backup point guards in the league. Right. But if something happened to Holiday, we still gonna need a veteran like Dragic to come in and hold it down. I think he's an insurance policy. We don't even need him really to be that much into the rotation. We just need you to be ready in case something happened to Middleton or Carter. Something happened to Carter, he can come in and play that natural point guard role. I don't think we have anybody else on the team like that. So we did need insurance policy for our point guard. But you're right, we do need something for you've been saying this for the last 2 years. We need something for Brook.
And they signed Leonard to a second 10-day, but they still haven't committed to sign him for the rest of the season.
Well, they got 10 days.
Right. And I don't know how many 10 days you can sign a team.
You only can do 2. You only can do 2.
Okay. Well, I don't know if this is a good or bad, but the thing about Chris Middleton for me is to me, just watching him, it looks like something is missing. Like he still ain't ready, like he's not completely healed or something. I think he in his feelings. I think he's upset that they didn't give him no extension. I think that's his problem. The Bucks didn't extend Middleton. They could have. They didn't. And I think he's in his feelings about that. That's what I think. That's right, because this is his last year of his contract.
Right. They could have extended him and they didn't. So Middleton can be a free agent this summer.
Yeah. This is also Brook's last year of his contract.
Yeah, but Brook is a little different. He's a little different. Brook is a unique person and we need Brook really, really bad. But Middleton, it's a bunch of people that we could get that could pretty much do close to what Middleton does. Don't get me wrong, Middleton's an all-star. He's an Olympic gold medalist. Did he go to the Olympics? Both of them went. Yeah, Drew and
Drew went together. Him and Drew went together.
So he's an Olympic gold medalist. He's been he's been a clutch dude in a lot of situations. But like you said, this year, he's been a little less polished, a little less clutch than he has been in the past. Now, we do have a month and a half before it's playoff time, so he may be just getting it together. They still don't play him in back-to-backs. So obviously, it's some type of physical concerns they have. But I don't think we need him as much as we needed him in the past with the acquisition of
Crowder.
With Crowder and the way Bobby Portis is playing and the way the Russian dude, what's his name? I mean, the Australian dude.
The big man. I know you're talking about.
Yeah, the way they're playing, we don't need him as much because before, just think, we didn't have any of those guys. So we can get away with a watered down version of Chris Middleton and we still can make it to the promised land, I believe.
Yeah, you may be right. But I think right now he is also on an experiment and I think the biggest issue with Chris Middleton for the Bucks is Giannis does have say-so.
Well, that's what he know. The way Durant had say so in Brooklyn about Kyrie, Giannis got say so, and Chris Middleton know that he's Giannis' guy, and he know that, you know, if y'all can't upset Giannis, so y'all got to handle me with kid gloves. He knows that.
Right. That's why his brother's on the squad.
Well, I ain't gonna say
Giannis'
that.
brother's on the squad.
I ain't gonna say that. He got a couple of brothers that ain't on the squad, so.
Yet.
Yeah.
But for me, I think Chris really needs to figure out what his role is going to be. If you're going to be the guy who comes off the bench and still is able to drop 25, 30, then do that. Do that. But
he's gonna start before it's all said and done. Like the last game against Washington, and against Philly, we had our original starting five in there with Allen, Middleton, Giannis, Brook, and Holiday. We had them all on the court at the same time in different stints in the game, that's our real starting five.
Yeah.
And you think about that's our starting five, and you start thinking about the bench. Woo, we got some fire. One of the reasons why we lost the game against Philly, a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons why we lost, and one of the reasons why we had such a tight game against Washington, is that we don't credit Wesley Matthews with the amount of defense and team chemistry that he brings to the game. When you got Harden going off like he was going off, that's when we call Wesley Matthews and say, cut his water off. And we didn't have that, so we wasn't able to cut him off like we would have if we would have had Wesley Matthews to put on it.
Yeah, that could be it. You know,
and then, you know, that's another thing. That's somebody else that's hurt. He's going to come back. Our team is deep, man. We deep.
And this is Wesley's last year.
Yeah.
But Wesley's money is nothing. Wesley, I looked at him, he's making maybe minimum wage.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for us to eat, you know, another 350,000 for him, it's nothing.
Yeah.
It really is nothing. So, well, listen, another great show. Meet me right back here every Tuesday night. Same back time, same back channel for the #1 faith-based sports